start with Karakia, please. Welcome, everyone. We'll start with our agenda item 1, apologies. So we have online Victoria and Jake, apologies for lateness. Can I please have a mover and a seconder? Okay. John and Ashley. Good. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Declaration of interest. Anybody? Okay. Confirmation of previous minute, please. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Yep, Mike and Ashley. And today for our public forum, we have first Harrison McCoy from St. Albans Resident Association. Welcome, Harrison.
Good everyone. New boots, some of it. Right on my. Kia ora koutou. I'm here today to talk to you just about some concerns that the Residents Association in St. Albans has upon the I guess the current state of affairs with the section of Cranford Street north of Innes Road up to the roundabout where it joins with Northern Corridor. There's been a couple of issues identified through our meetings where we've had discussions back to the force with our members about it's really not serving its purpose at the moment, and there are a couple of adverse effects that are occurring which aren't kind of covered by some of the previous work that's been done by council. So there's three things I wanted to discuss today. The primary of which is the nature of driving on this section of road. So you should be familiar, but if you aren't, for context, the northern part coming southbound on Cranford Street is essentially a feeder straight from the northern motorway. There's no filter, there's no speed reduction measures or anything. You just flow straight from the 100 to the 80 to the 50, right down into the northern part of St. Albans. It's been noted, and I'll go over the centile speeds in a second, that isn't currently serving its purpose, and there is a very high number of vehicles travelling over the speed limit. There's no data for that section of Cranford Street because council hasn't put a monitoring device there recently. But for the surrounding streets, so that's McFadden's, Western, which are the two northernmost streets, the latest 85th percentile counts for McFadden's on the eastern side was 47.8 in a 40 zone. And for West, and on the western side, that's the side that they just speed up on, it was 53.3 in a 40 zone, as well as Western on the western side was 49.1. So in a 40 zone, that 85th percentile speed is well above what it should be, which is a sign that things are not working well. So that's it kind of stems from the fact that when the downstream traffic management plan happened, the parts south of Innes Road received a lot of work to make sure that wasn't the case. The parts north, obviously at that point in time, that corridor wasn't CCC, so that work wasn't necessarily done. Now it is. That's sort of something that's coming to the, sort of bearing its fruit, that this is what we're seeing in our neighbourhood is high speeds, alongside obviously the increase in traffic that motorway has brought. So it's kind of a situation that comes from the fact that motorway exists, and also the fact that we have so many people coming into that area. So it's very difficult in that space to access public transport because of the nature of the road doesn't really service it. So obviously south of Innes Road, you've got the new bus lanes that have been approved. On the motorway, you have the T2 lane, although never enforced, it is technically there. That section between where the northern corridor finishes and Innes Road starts is just a 2-lane corridor, and it is nose to tail every morning. That means anyone trying to use the Orbiter, the 27, or any of the 91, 92 routes from the Waimakariri district essentially doesn't receive any benefit from doing so, which obviously means that most of the benefits of the lanes south of Innes Road are not realised because you've still got to get through that section, which is the worst section. The part south are okay. That part is the worst section. It's 2 lanes of nose to tail. That was never the position of the Northern Residents Association when we submitted on all of this work back in the 2010s. I've looked at the consultation documents. We were very much against that. We still are. Is essentially that the fact that there's no provision for alternative transport use in that corridor or priority really puts a massive weight around that corridor not being available for use in the peak hours when it should be. It also is, it's a really obvious gap between the motorway's T2 lanes, which can be enforced, and the bus lanes on Cranford Street, which will be enforced, and then there's nothing in between. So it's sort of an obvious gap where there is a priority. Those two things kind of go hand in hand, right? Is that the more that we look at ways to get different, other ways to get people around, the more we reduce traffic, the less stress there is on people to do things like rat running. And the less stress there is for people to decide to turn off the street and put their foot down. This morning I came out of my driveway on McFadden's Road, which is 40k zone, and I had this great big SUV flying down McFadden's Road at probably close to 60k an hour. And that's not the exception to the rule. Quite often in the morning, that is the rule. And because the lights at McFadden's represent the easiest way to cross Northern Cranford Street, it is a very populated route for kids going to and from school, people going to and from work. It's one of those things where you kind of wonder how there hasn't already been an accident there rather than will there be an accident there. So, yeah. The last and final point, the last of the 3 points I want to just touch on is to do with Grasmere Estates. I only have 13 seconds, I'm going to make this very concise, is that we are interested to see how that will interact with the northern entrance to the motorway, which to the roundabout, which can already be congested at peak times and obviously doesn't receive priority because the northbound traffic cuts it off. So we just want to know what kind of stuff was done in the modelling around the consenting for that, and if that was part of the consenting. Cool.
Thanks, Jason. Do we have questions?
Done my job right.
I have a question.
Okay.
Do you have any idea what you would want to see happen within that Cranford gap?
Are you asking me personally? Because I have a very good idea, but there needs to be some kind of filter between the motorway and Northern Cranford Street, because you are exiting a motorway into an arterial road. While there's an arterial road, the width of the corridor is the same as the motorway. There's no visible shift between motorway and arterial road south of the roundabout. I mean, I would look to something like an expanded roundabout in the future, maybe with some kind of, dare I say, speed-related slowing thing. I won't say the words. Semi-vertical speed-related measure. But I'm not sure that's currently on the policy docs of council at the moment. There either has to be a way to physically reduce the speed, or there has to be a punitive measure for exceeding the speed limit. One of the two options has to be explored in some way, shape, or form, because the status quo is not acceptable. So
punitive means enforcement.
that'll be a popular radar gun and some tickets.
And then
Just, you think, Harrison, just for clarity, the McFadden's Cranford, are you talking about pedestrian safety there particularly, or help me just clarify what your point was again?
So obviously this is going southbound. So northbound now has the speed bump at both McFadden's and that. I have noticed the number of near misses at that intersection has dropped massively since those went in. I myself was almost twice taken out there. I have noticed that people approach that intersection a lot safer now.
Yeah.
The northbound side is still seeing high traffic.
The southbound side.
The southbound side, yeah. The southbound side is still seeing high speed traffic going through. It's also can be especially dangerous because that turn into McFadden's is quite tight. You have to slow down to about 30k an hour to safely take that corner. So if you've got somebody doing 60 behind you, 65 behind you off the motorway, I watched some guy do this basically around somebody else just as I was about to turn in. So yeah, that's just sort of a safety thing. It's just about driving, but there is always, obviously, with it being such a high crossing point,
Right.
the potential that somebody will be hit there. Yeah.
Right, okay, so maybe a bit of a survey there and a treatment would work.
I think the first thing obviously is that data is missing. There's no speed data for the northern part of Cranford because it hasn't been collected. So.
One of the ways I've thought about getting the cars coming down Cranford Street better is a green light system like a green light system like they have to get onto the motorways in Auckland. having a green light system to get off the motorway in Christchurch. Have you ever thought about anything like that?
I haven't, but it would depend on when it was operational because the issue with speed is 24-hour, not necessarily on peak. So it would be either operational all day or just on peak. So I don't know. Yeah, I haven't thought about that. No.
Thank you.
Thank you, Harrison. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Next, we have Erin. We'll talk about Francis A.
I sent a map through, which I hope you
Yes.
received. Yeah, I'm talking about the area east of Cranford, which is the red line, and north of Berwick, Warrington, which is the green horizontal. Hopefully my time starts now. So Christchurch has been referred to as a car-infested swamp. And I particularly like this image where the roads and streets are the streams and the river channels crisscrossing our swamp. And Cranford Street was a major river channel. It's now been turned into a canal for moving CNC traffic. And like a canal, there are limited entry points and restricted exits, and the flow is smooth. The traffic rarely has to stop. Traffic light timings are heavily favoured for Cranford Street over east-west traffic. So at the Cranford-Westminster intersection, it's 6 to 1. So 1 minute for Cranford, 10 seconds for Westminster. And that's the most that Westminster ever gets. It's often much less than that. Locals are discouraged from using the Cranford Canal by a lack of safe turns off and long times waiting to get on because of the short green lights. So the design works. The traffic moves smoothly and the bulk of it stays on the canal. And that's good for CNC traffic, who are mostly, I guess, Waimak traffic. But not so good for the Christchurch residents who live on the east bank of that Cranford Canal. They've been cut off from major parts of the roading system and forced onto fewer streets. To get to and from their homes, they now have to travel further. So they could go up Cranford Street to Innes with that right turn arrow and then double back to their streets. Or they can use Warrington Street. And then they have but two options, which Francis Ave is not highlighted, but Flockton is orange. This is a 2018 map, so things there. So both of those, Francis and Flockton, are prone to flooding. One is very narrow, the other has a history of sinkholes. Neither is designed to carry the volume of traffic they're currently doing. The option they no longer have, even if they live on it, is to use Forfar Street, which was closed off preemptively before the CNC opened, I think. Now, Forfar Street is wide. It is at least 14 metres wide, twice that of Francis. It never floods. It had very little earthquake damage. It was closed for a fear of a surge of CNC rat runners using it. It was thought that huge numbers of cars were going to use Forfar to access Cranford at the Westminster intersection. Or worse, that they were going to cross Westminster and then use Mersey and Severn to get up to Innes Road and then make a sneaky, quick right-hand turn onto Cranford Street. Now, the fact is that both those alternatives are slow, interrupted, and not very attractive to CNC traffic. At Westminster intersection, there's a short green arrow. Remember I said that 10 seconds, that's on a good day, and no green arrow. There are stop signs on Mersey and Severn, and then once the rats get up to Innes Road, they've got a longish wait for a short green arrow to get onto Cranford. So the Cranford Canal is the fastest route, and that's where the CNC traffic is staying. Closing Forfar has forced local traffic onto other local streets, in effect turning residents into rat runners in their own neighbourhoods. When Forfar was closed, there were around 120 households on that Mersey, it's hard to see here, Mersey, Forfar, Mayfield. It's kind of like a pitchfork with a short handle. It's all been turned into a big cul-de-sac now. There were 120 households on there. Today there are 200 and more development is happening. The latest count there is from 2024 on Forfar Street, was 500 vehicle movements a day. That's Forfar alone. Add in Mersey and Mayfield, realistically closer to 1,000. A few of those 1,000 car movements are going to be using Cranford Street to get home. There's no safe turn off. There's a long wait to get onto it. They're using other smaller streets to get around. Our roading resilience has been reduced by closing Forfar. Even in the floods, people still used Francis and Flockton because there is no other alternative. The DEMP report recommended a cautious wait and see what happens after the CNC opened, but that wasn't followed to the letter anyway. But now we do know what happens. The Cranford Canal successfully carries traffic to the Northern Highway, and the feared invasions of the local streets has not happened, does not happen. So, but now, instead of these modelling predictions, we have actual data. The Cranford Canal works, CNC traffic stays on it, rat running does not happen. So I have a practical evidence-based request. Reopen Forfar Street. It will increase our roading resilience. It will accommodate the increasing number of people who live there. It will take pressure off the adjacent streets. Reopening Forfar is not a backward step. It's not an admission of any error. It is making a new decision in the light of new evidence, which is the intelligent thing to do. Thank you.
Do we have any questions? Okay, Simon.
Thanks, Aaron. Just checking if you've received through any channel, communications channel, the council's rationale for the for Forfar to remain closed.
To remain closed? I don't think there has been any. There was a rationale, well, I think kind of a rationale for closing it. There hasn't been any. Mostly, I think the word has been that it's too expensive to open it.
That's not the case. Yeah, perhaps either through staff or through an elected member, we can get you some information on that. It might be helpful.
Yeah. Thanks, Simon.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming in here. And there have been a good piece prior and council advice about that, so it should be there. With Flockton now having had a complete renewal, that should not flood anymore going into the future. So
why?
Because it's been completely redone, been completely dug out and waterproofed, and we've got the Dudley works, the remediation and the pump there.
Oh yeah.
So, and also the buses will return back there. So
I'm aware of all that. I am not talking about Flockton Street.
yes, but okay. My question is, currently these streets are seeing the effects of the Flockton using Francis.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about Flockton at all. I mean, I'm really pleased that we're getting new sewers.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
so I have no.
Now that it's
nothing
again, it should ease a lot of that traffic.
Yes, of course, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Do you think even with that,
that is still a problem?
Still a problem. That's good to hear that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was good to hear the updated information that you've got. So I'm sure we'll have discussions on that. Do you see what's the traffic like coming down from Hills Road from QE2 Drive?
I've got no idea. Should I?
Well, I'm just wondering, you're noting that you know where the local traffic's going. I'm just wondering if you've been watching it.
I'm talking about this little block here.
Yeah.
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 I'm talking about all the people who live here.
Yes.
Who have trouble getting home.
Yes. Yeah. We I live in the same area, don't worry. Yeah. I completely understand. Yeah.
Hills Road, you are talking about Hills Road coming on to Westminster Street?
Yes.
Yes. What about it?
So I was wondering if you had been watching the traffic yourself.
Yeah.
And if what you're seeing coming down Westminster from Hills Road.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, there's lots of it.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at the count. Yeah. I don't know.
So do you consider that local traffic as well? Because
I don't think they're coming home.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I see a big issue coming into that area as well, is the traffic coming down there.
Yeah, I guess
getting off the motorway at QE2.
Yeah.
instead of Cranford Street,
They're taking a longer route, yeah,
just slightly.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Erin, for your time. Cheers. Next, please, Colleen.
I'm just thinking that, after those two public forums, did we want to request,
Register information.
say, a speed count from the first one? And then, I'm not sure, we've already requested the information be
For the
passed
second
to,
one, yeah, we can do that.
and did we want anything? I mean, is the traffic engineer still monitoring all that area that Erin's just spoken about?
You would have think
Dave.
Came out today.
they would
Yeah, so
have
we-
an information session
Yeah.
quite soon, be able to.
Yep.
A lot of the questions.
Great, thank you.
And would cover both of these,
The first one's not so much,
no, okay.
so we can request some.
Yeah, at least that monitoring, we don't have any contact.
Would be one surprised. Well,
I'm surprised.
That's right.
we may have to think of it.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Emma, so we will get some information on both the items, yeah? Thank you. Moving on, next we have our deputation by Derek from ICON.
So, right,
Yeah. Right.
this directly concerns the draft plan. Is that right? Is that okay?
Yes.
That's right. But you haven't, you hadn't sort of introduced it yet.
No, it's all good. You're good.
It's all good?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I'm Derek Wallace. I'm from ICON, in the City West Neighbourhood Association. We are located right down in the southwest corner of the territory covered by this board. And almost all the specific concerns in the consultation questionnaire I noted were located in the more easterly and northerly parts generally. I mean, I'm not complaining about that, but just noting that maybe we should be doing more about area, have events and issues in our area. Anyway, I read all, that's by way of an excuse really for not commenting on more of the concerns and initiatives in the questionnaire. But I have read all the submissions and I congratulate the people who made the effort to respond fully. I also applaud the 2 or 3 people who provided a masterclass in discourse analysis by arguing that the language of the draft plan obscures an underlying intensification and pro-public transport agenda. My concern is quite different though. I agree with the green and community-focused agenda, but I fear that it is not being pursued actively enough to actually achieve it. The draft community board plan, page 8, has an explicit focus, and I quote, on encouraging longer-term residents into the central city to build strong communities and to provide consistent year-round support. And further, the draft acknowledges that residents, quote, wish for a city with diversity in its housing stock, which attracts a wide range of people and families. My focus, I'm sure you've guessed what it is on what has become of critical and urgent concern in and near our area. That is the proliferation of small 1 and 2 bedroom new builds that are unsuitable to support the range of household types needed to actually realise the vision in your plan and to form viable and convivial neighbourhoods, and which are therefore being turned over to short-term accommodation. Most of this accommodation is not even obeying the rules that exist around short-term provision. Hence, it is not just that it is not contributing to community, but actively creating a nuisance for long-term residents. The problem was vividly illustrated in a front page report in the press last Thursday. Probably saw it. We are in grave danger of losing the central city as a place for settled and diverse community, in my opinion, and not only my opinion. It is one thing to rebuild a city. It is another thing, and far more important thing, to rebuild a community. Icon hopes that it is not too late to learn from this distinction. And could I just ask one question? Has the report that's being tabled today been revised to take account of the feedback that was provided?
It's in there as a part of our plan. We're concerned about it. It's about the tools that the board has to use. Can I just
Yeah.
have some way of answering? And
Yeah.
I don't know if Councillor McClellan's online.
Not yet.
He seconded a notice of motion coming to the Policy and Planning Committee meeting tomorrow at Council.
On Wednesday?
Wednesday,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, I'll be there.
Yes, so you're aware of that?
Yeah.
To write to the minister.
Yeah,
for
yes, yeah,
solutions and
yeah,
tools.
yeah.
Because part of it is unless people are currently dog Airbnbs in that are operating for the over 60
Yeah,
days, even though
yeah,
that's
yeah.
dropped out.
No, I'm actually aware that really at this level, there's not much you can do, I guess, except
No, there is, we could.
passing,
For you,
advocate, until,
when the chair reports to
Yeah,
the council.
yeah,
We
Yeah.
We'll highlight that.
yeah, and that's the very reason why I came along today. But I still don't understand what, I understood that the kind of like a final report, there was a draft report, final report being tabled today, is that right?
Yeah.
Has it been changed in any way? I'm just interested, curious, has it been changed in any way to reflect the feedback that came in response to it?
Yeah, that's this issue.
But I think, doesn't your feedback agree with what we put in the?
Yeah, but I'm talking about all the feedback that was given. I mean, has there been any,
Oh,
is the
what
report?
changes have we made?
Yeah,
Changes have been made since the draft one, but that's an overall table feedback, which has been predominantly positive of the one with two that were mixed, which
There was a high level of agreement with the plan.
well, no, I agree. Yes, I know. I can see that from the, I mean, there was obviously some opposition. I'm not advocating for, but I just, as a point of principle, was there attempt made to incorporate the feedback in any way? Was there any rewriting done? You're suggesting
That could
maybe.
be happening today.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, will it? Okay.
Well,
Potentially.
potentially,
right.
because, we're discussing it today.
I see.
In the things that
I see.
that have highlight,
Right.
that the
Right.
feedback is highlighted to us.
Right. So I see. It's an ongoing process.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You've done great. Well, thank you very much.
Yep.
Is there anyone else have questions? No? Thank you, Derek.
That was a good reminder.
Okay, moving on for our petition, we do not have anybody. Next, we have item 7, a Fortune Reserve, place-based renewable concept plan. So we will have Barbara here.
Thanks for having me.
Here, Barbara.
Do you need me to outline anything about the plan? I assume you've all read through the report, so I'm just happy to answer questions if you have any.
On 7, are we?
Yeah.
I'm happy to move it.
Okay, Pauline and. Do you have any debate, questions? Yep, Pauline,
Not a question, but
No.
happy to debate.
happy to debate, okay.
Opinion. Yeah, no, I think it's great. And I mean, there's a couple of things that people wanted in the consultation, like a different area. You've explained why that won't work. And so I think this will be really appreciated in this area to have this little playground updated because there's very little there. And it will help bring children into the area to mix with the residents from the Isaac Retirement Village who come in there as well. So no, I think it's really excellent. And I know there's an option there to go back and have another look at it, but I think get it done. Otherwise it might never happen.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yes. Cool. No, just want to say thank you for the work and welcome
That
forward.
was fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Reality. Yeah. Oh, Ken.
So sorry,
Yes.
I know the debate and question, but there was a thing in there about having the choice of swing if it's affordable, because if it's not available now and it's available in the future, it might be more expensive. If that's the case, could we take a note and perhaps look at using some discretionary to upgrade it if they needed to? Or get staff to come back and put that option to us at the time? Sorry about that, I'm out of time.
Sorry.
No, sorry.
Yeah, please.
At this stage, I put that in, just because we weren't sure what's happening with the global market and
Yes.
because there are always a couple of weeks, well, a few weeks in between writing the report and the meeting. As of today, we should be able to do the baskets.
Okay, forget what I just did.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Aye.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, against, no one. Cool, carried.
Great.
Yes. Next on item 8, the village safety and streetscape, and we have got Sally Lynn. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. Okay, so yeah, you previously directed us to focus on pedestrian related road safety improvements on Edgware Road, relating to the opening of the Edgware pool. Yeah, so we've brought this report to you for a decision on the 4 options. So where our recommended option would be for the pedestrian island, they are quite finely balanced. So yeah, there's not much in it. So yeah, we're here to answer any questions.
It's when you say they're finely balanced, that's in the safety area.
Yeah, and they're very similar in cost as well. So
Yes. So my question is, what's your view on the amenity look? Does one option give more of a gateway look than another, in your view?
yeah, the curb build outs would give the gateway. Yeah, and I think with the shop in Lady Bollard's, the way they'd be positioned would give more of a gateway feature into the village over the pedestrian island as well.
So I'd be quite happy to move option 2. Okay.
Yeah, I'd be happy to second it too.
Do I have a seconder? Okay, Emma? Any debate?
I just, sorry,
Yeah.
question. I will support it. I just want to kind of know, like, when you talk about them being close, like, what's the data that backs that up? Like, how do we measure them being close when we're talking about safety? And I'm just curious about this type of treatment where we have an option of doing a ridge in the middle or not. And like, how do we quantify that they're very close? Like to me, it's a very important. This is one of the most important things, like, is safety for children on our streets, and this is going to be in the future quite have a lot of kids crossing it.
Yeah,
And I'm happy to go with what Pauline's moved, but I just want sureties that we're actually not stepping too far away from actually a much safer option. And so when you say, oh, it's pretty close, like, what is it actually?
but the pedestrian island would be safer because we are breaking the carriageway down into 2 widths. It gives pedestrians, especially people who maybe aren't as confident or a bit slower, children, old people, time to concentrate in one direction over the other. But it is it's a slow environment. We're still reducing the width of the carriageway.
But as a expert in your field, you would have no issues from a safety point of view from the board approving option 2.
No, because I do think the build outs as well, it brings people into not into the carriageway, but it brings them further in, so their visibility is better then as well.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You answered the question. Thank you.
Ashley has got a question.
Just to confirm, so Caledonian Road, there's traffic lights here, isn't there?
No,
Is it one over? Yeah, Colombo's.
Colombo's got traffic lights.
What is the distance between that to this island that you're suggesting? And then there is going to be another one down how many more metres?
Do you mean the island that's going in down by Springfield? That's 290 metres.
It's quite a long. So it's such a short time frame. You've got 3 stop and startings happening.
Well, 2 are at intersections and one's mid. So you've got to stop at intersections anyway.
You can use like the Colombo and do, like, have you looked into multiple crossings happening there? Or is there adding more in?
Well, you could do, yeah. I mean, we've been asked to investigate a crossings point specifically for the access to the pool, so that's what we've done.
But not just access to the pool, it's an entrance way to the village.
Yeah.
That's one of the.
Part of the
Yeah.
conversation was, yes. Okay.
Sorry, can I
Yeah.
check? It was moved and seconded option 2, so not the staff recommendation, the other one. Oh, yeah, so I've
Yeah.
copied over the relevant wording that I've got from Sally and Cool.
Cool. John?
Yeah. Sally, just my questions along, I just want to clarify the scope of the motion. So it sounds like what we're voting on is option 2, correct? Sorry to be a simpleton, but yeah, thank you. That's.
Yeah.
Three and four.
Okay, Mike?
Just confirming though, this also includes the other options on here as well, right? Option 3 and 4?
Yeah.
That's what I was.
When we get the
Oh,
money, if we get the money sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've just brought that forward now to save us coming to the again in the future.
Yeah.
Right.
See if you were happy to approve those now when the budget becomes available to.
Yeah.
We think we can secure it from within leftovers in the program. It's not a huge amount. Yeah, so if you approve it, we will do our best. Yeah, if it's approved, we'll do our best to.
Mention it in our annual plan?
No.
John?
Thank you, Chair. I have a quick, options 3 and 4, the funding sources, it mentions funding source CPMS 3409 for Linwood Village streetscape enhancements. I thought that was a typing mistake when I first saw it, but is that there as kind of a placeholder of the?
No, that's money that hasn't been needed. That project's just in the process of now closing out, and there's some remaining funding in it, which has been transferred back to the master plans program.
Yeah.
So we would go through a change process to draw down enough for the option 3 and 4.
Yeah, could it theoretically be drawn down to provide for the area for which it was originally intended?
No, because this is a very small project. I'm preempting the change process because I don't go through a staff delegation. But I think because of the size of this project, it would be hard to probably justify putting a lot more money into it. I don't want to offend anyone here, but we're trying to top it up to do something useful with the 30,000 that was there.
I just want to lose it from Linwood. Be used in Linwood. So.
Yeah.
The scope of the Linwood project's been delivered. So the scope of that project's been delivered. Up again. Yeah.
So that was the question.
Thing from, where it could be very much used.
Question, but they've answered it.
They've answered.
Okay,
Thanks.
so that means we can do the same when it comes down to other new projects. Yeah.
Well, but that's what they'll think about with the Shirley Community Centre. Like what's not if they're not using it, it'll go back into something else.
Oh, that's very different.
Yeah.
No, that's apples and pears.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, this is both street and house.
Oh, okay.
Cool. So we are clear on option 2. We have Pauline as mover and am I seconder? Okay, any debate after all that questioning? No?
Thank you.
Thank you. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carried.
I think it's been a long time coming. But
Yeah, true. Oh, can I ask a question? What timeline are we looking into delivering this project? Kellyanne, sorry, what timeline are we looking into delivering this project?
need to check that.
Can we just get an email? Sure.
That's it before the pool
I was just going to
opens.
say that it's probably not a very long time frame, but we have got a bit of street renewal carriageway work to do adjacent to the site. So we'll just check that there's nothing needed. Got the island in this one as well.
So we're looking at this year before summer? Yeah, okay, cool. I'm just thinking from pool starting as well.
Yeah, if the carriageway needs done, it'll take a bit longer, but we will try and get it at the start of the season.
Okay.
And will you align the works with the carriageway at the same time?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you very much for the work. All right. Hello, Jake is online. Cool. Next, we have London Street and Perth Street intersection, and we have Lisa and Lisa Maria on Zoom with us.
It's Jake.
Okay, Lisa, take it away.
Hi. So I assume that everyone has read the report. And happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Anybody, question? Oh, okay, John and Mike.
Just one of absolute clarification. Thanks, Lisa. This looks really good, but I just want to absolutely be sure that this is not imposing a new rule. It's simply marking out an existing parking restriction, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Thank you.
Not supposed to park.
Mike.
Thanks for the report. And this is, I guess, a bit more of a high level question. Like, how much does it cost to do a report like this when the reality is we're just putting no yellow parking lines where you can't park?
To be quite honest, I've got no idea how much it costs to do the report. I've really been sucking information here, but yeah, it's just that there were no stopping yellow lines there to begin with, and so it's just about reinforcing. So we just had to go through the process of getting the necessary approval, to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I just wonder, I guess when I look at things like this, like when we do them individually, like there's a lot of time to write up these reports. But money goes into that as well, when actually we're just making a decision on something that's part of the rules. And I'm wondering if there's better ways to do things than actually bring individual reports for putting no parking lines where that obviously should be already. So, but I guess that's not a question for you to answer, but potentially to go further up to see if there's any thought about how we can get this better efficient.
Hi, it's Matt Goldring here. I'm Lisa's team leader. Yeah, that's something probably agree with, to be honest with you, and it's something that's just feedback we can take away for sure.
Cool. Thank you.
This is the Leander one, 750. It's similar sort of thing.
Okay, John is moving. Do I have seconder? Emma? Cool. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Against? Carried. Now, next we have subdivision roading approval, Leander Street cul-de-sac. We have got Peter on Zoom as well. Peter, the way.
Yes, hello. Sorry, I've just got a bit of light on me right now. Hang on. Yeah, so this report is for a subdivisions that have been consented at the end of Leander Street. It's there's only one way to design a cul-de-sac, and this is more or less what it is, with the exception of that this has got a slightly it's got a stormwater condition that the stormwater catchment of the subdivision is kept separate from the existing stormwater catchment of Leander Street, i.e. so the stormwater gets treated, and that's what the big blue swimming pool is. Not a swimming pool on the plans, that's a stormwater treatment wetland is for, which means that the road drains away from the property boundary into there. So the designer has proposed that could be made as a speed hump to control speeds and be a bit of a gateway feature. If the board chooses to approve that, otherwise it'll still need to be a high point in the road, but could just be a more gently ramped up. Any questions about this?
Mike and Ashley and then John.
Thank you. Hopefully you can answer this. I'm just curious, like, is this going to put access from Leander back onto Sawyers Arms Street? So basically remove the fact that it's a cul-de-sac, or will it remain a cul-de-sac?
It will remain a cul-de-sac. The property boundaries, there isn't anywhere to build a road through to Sawyers Arms or in fact any other road. Going way back in time, there might have been a time, it's probably last century, where a road could have been formed through there, but since then houses have been built and that ship has sailed a long time ago. Now, I will have to also mention to the board that there will be a subsequent report coming to you from the property team, because there is a section of local purpose road reserve just north of the site, or as part of this site, to which council has reached an agreement with the developer to split that, sell some of it to development, use some of it for the stormwater wetland, and there's also a link strip along the boundary of 30 Sawyers Arms Road, which will need to be revoked. So because that's subject to the Reserves Act, it'll be coming to the community board and then to council to revoke that status. But that's something that the property team will be bringing at a later date.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the original answer to the original question is no, it will not. There's no ability for it to connect through to Sawyers Arms or any other road for that matter.
Thank you.
Okay. No more questions? Then I'll go to, oh, Ashley?
Just questioning regarding your wording, speed bump that you're putting in a cul-de-sac.
Yep.
Why is there a need for that when it's a cul-de-sac?
The part of the reason is because that the point where the speed bump needs to be a kind of a dam in the road to stop the stormwater from the new road going into the old road. So it needs to be a high point in the road, if that makes sense. It doesn't need to be a speed bump, but it does need to be a high point, if that makes sense.
I'm assuming some of the water you're talking about will be in piping. Can the piping go lower?
It's not piping. It's just the overland flow of the road. So it's so that if you're looking at on a map, it's so that when rain falls, the rain that falls on the road, on the new bit of road, flows north towards flows towards the stormwater basins, and the rain that falls on the existing bit of road flows south and down towards Sawyers Arms Road.
So you're just pretty much trying to push the water. Direct the water and control it in a way.
Yeah, that is a condition of the consent that the council stormwater team have put on it, and it's pretty normal for, in my experience at least, for developments to have a requirement to treat their own stormwater. It's essentially it's treating the stormwater with the stuff that comes off the roads prior to going into the waterways. So not making the situation any worse.
When is the community plans for this road?
When it's subject to board approval, they are more or less ready to. They're in the detailed design at the moment, so they'll be more or less ready to build in the coming probably months. In the coming months. They'll have to start by putting infrastructure and pipes and stuff in first, but yeah.
Is there a way we can avoid a speed bump and have a slide?
If the board chooses to, I would say if you want to put a resolution in to essentially to remove the speed bump, that would be I think just have a resolution to that effect, just to remove the speed bump, and we will essentially smooth it out. It will still be like a bit of a ramp, but it will not be a harsh bump. Yep.
Okay. John?
My question has been asked and answered through the other section.
Oh, sorry.
Emma.
Hi, I was just wondering, do you know how many houses are going into the development, and are they mixed?
What I do know is that it is zoned high density, which is I think largely around the proximity to Northlands Mall and such. The development is currently So there's subdivision consents and then there's a land use consent, and often they're combined into one. In this case, they've got the subdivision consent first. This is to subdivide into development lots and then build the infrastructure to support them. And they're currently working through the land use consent, so the exact number may change. But what I have been advised by the consenting team is it could be, I might have put it in the report, it could be up to 50 units. Hold on, I think it might be in the report. But if not, it will be in the consent decision, which I have sent to Mark, and he will be able to provide you the full consent document if you want to see that.
So that much traffic on the road, I mean, what's the size of the road and?
Yeah, so the current bit of Leander Street's 9 meters wide, or roughly 9 meters curb to curb. That's the amount of traffic that this development could potentially contribute to Leander Street is enough that the existing bit of Leander Street can manage that traffic in terms of its width. The actual condition of the road, I have been advised by our asset management team that they will be resurfacing the road in the next year or so. So that'll happen after the subdivision works happens, but they will be going and fixing up the road after all the big construction trucks have been through, so that it will be in a good condition for years to come, ideally.
And how many residents live on the street at the moment?
I believe there's about 30 odd houses so far, so it will definitely be an increase in the traffic on Leander Street, but it is something that it can be handled, and is not. It won't be an unusual amount of traffic for a local road. Like, for example, the next street up, Nioli Street, it won't be significantly more traffic than that street currently carries.
And they turn on to Main North Road, do they?
Yeah, so they'll turn on to from Leander Street, they'll go on to Sawyer's Arms Road.
Sawyer's Arms. Okay.
Yeah.
Pauline.
Yeah, just to be clear, this decision is required by the resource consent to
yes.
So we don't really have an option but to approve that.
Yeah, there's limited scope to what the board can actually change here. The parking restrictions, for example,
no, I'm just talking about
those could be changed.
But what's in our recommendation is the cul-de-sac, and that's part of the consent, isn't it? What I'm trying to say is that we need to approve this.
Happy to move it.
But I'd just also like to ask you about the treatment there, where it could be a speed hump, which is quite dramatic, or a softer, like a platform or a cushion, or you can leave it to the engineers to design the road as appropriate for the runoff. So
it could be more or less flat, as flat as can be achieved with the requirements that I've already mentioned.
So I'd like to, with the will of the mover, to include that just a speed cushion go in there, not a hard hump, and mainly because I think cul-de-sacs are really prone to people hearing down there and just spinning around the end. Spearway Place, for example, so I think something like that would be good, but perhaps not a hard hump that creates vibration for houses. So
so there's the normal hump, which is a Watts profile, I suppose what you'd see is a normal speed hump, and then there's the cushions, which are a slightly longer ramp up and can be a bit gentler. Yep.
I thought the cushions were actually.
Oh, a cushion. Yeah, actually, so you're right. A cushion is actually it's kind of a piece of like Rolleston Ave, for example. Those ones are cushions where they don't straddle the whole lane. This one would cover the whole lane. but it can be a gentler a platform, I think is the term.
Yeah, I just think it needs to be a platform or a speed hump that actually meets the desired outcome of diverting the water, right? Like,
So you moved
Yeah.
it, do you want to make some wording around that, and I'll second it if you know. So leave it to the roading designers to work out a solution that's going to achieve what we're trying to.
yeah. Where is it? Sorry.
Does that make sense?
Request staff ensure that the raised area is at minimum height or whatever to achieve desired outcomes.
No, they're just that it just causes the least disruption to the vehicle driving on it.
Well, it's not going
No, the most.
I really like disrupting vehicles.
Not when they're driving in their own driveways.
I mean, those are.
Does that
I
work?
mean, it's going to be, it has to be something.
Streets with the children.
Peter, does this wording
Require-
say clear what we are asking?
Yes, yeah, I think that is in this context clear. Yep. Another way to that you could do it is to say design to a certain design speed, say 30 or 40 km an hour sort of design speed. Would be another way to do it, but
that's desired outcomes though, isn't it?
yeah, I think yeah.
Design safety and drainage outcomes.
Safety and drainage outcome. Yeah, it covers it both.
Right.
Cool.
Yep.
So with the current improvements or amendments, Mike is your mover, Pauline is seconder. Any debate? Anybody? No? Cool. All in favor? Aye. And against? Carried. Well done. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
All right, now we come down to our item 11, board plan. I will take the report is read. Right, happy to answer any questions. Peter, were you asking something? Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No. Okay. All right.
In the boardroom.
All good. Pauline has got questions.
Hang on, I'll just pull up the video. Couple of corrections. Oh, it's 11, isn't it? One was the number of cemeteries. I think we've got two, haven't we? Isn't it Belfast and Barbados? And I apologise for not seeing it through. And I'm wondering, on page 71.
So before you go on to that, just when you're on that as well, English Park. Would that be, I think that's not in there.
Cemetery.
Well, cemeteries and when they list what's in the. When they listed the cemeteries and the sports parks and the community area centres and things.
You should write English Park in there. Yeah. And also, I'm wondering whether we should have included retirement villages.
The information's been taken off of the profiles.
Yes.
Our board profiles. So I can double check on English Park and I can double check on cemeteries. But Belfast
is Hillwood, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to double check information.
Okay. And then on to Kaha. On page 75, so at the bottom bullet point on the left, we're supporting the creation of microforests and orchard gardens and urban spaces. I have conveyed this verbally several times, but we should also have just had, and green spaces generally. I know you've put community spaces, but it's the green spaces. I'm wondering if we should put also that we support the council's, is it neighbourhood strategy? What do they call it? Local parks and neighbourhood strategy.
What was that?
What is it? A while ago, I think. It's supposed to be a green space accessible for every house within like 500 metres. And so that's really pertinent to our areas where we've got all this intensification and children have got no backyard.
What do you think it was?
It's called in our neighbourhood strategy.
I'm pulling the first bullet point in that list mentions green space, is there cover it?
Yes, you're right. So maybe we'll put something about the strategy in there. And then, this is just a question now, but with McFarlane Park, how we will measure success, a project timeline is established to support the coordinated delivery. Have we got a timeline on when that project timeline will be available?
No, we are working through at present with the first. There's various pieces of work going on around the McFarlane Park. We're working with the League Club, so we're just progressing with what the League Club, what their desires and what their outcomes are. There's the parks plan that's been underway, and there's also the work from memory that's going on with the toilets and the change in sheds. So
in the planting plan,
but we're waiting to see so that we
get them lined
up.
And then you'll bring a timeline. That's great. Yeah. Thank you. And then the other question is, did we want to tweak any of the Airbnb wording in here as a board? Got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm looking for something where we hang our hat already.
Be an urban growth and community planning, wouldn't it?
Something somewhere, but
page 75.
yeah, that's where I'm going. But
do you want any of those comments have already
These are actually
registered.
Mark's got comments on the Airbnb.
Just if it doesn't fit nicely, it is sort of mentioned in the, well, just to go into more detail about the remark and about us seeing feedback on to staff. Some of that, those remarks about Airbnbs has been passed on to staff that presented to council recently, so they're aware of this feedback and it's feeding into some of that process.
Can I?
Yep.
Just it's slightly broader than Airbnb. I'm thinking about some of that sort of this inner city stuff that's emerging lately and concerns about there being kind of a monoculture of just 1 2 bedroom apartments like Derek Wallace talked about today. And that came out last week at a thing I was in the Linwood area, and in the inner city east, it's been a talking point for a long time, is that people don't want the suburb or the inner city becoming only one travellers accommodation or only vulnerable accommodation, or only townhouse, only just one type. So that's that diversity of housing thing. I know it's in here, but I just can't find it right now. And I wanted to be in, it must be here because I read it and was happy that it was there, but did I hallucinate?
Affordable housing solutions. Hold on, I'm just going.
Yeah, I know we got that.
It's both support new and continuous development. Good. What the board do? 1, 3, number 4.
I think everyone's looking for the mix. Oh, sorry, where are you, Ashley?
Number 4 dot.
Page number?
75, is it?
Yeah. Agenda page 75.
It doesn't say anything about architecture though, or urban look, does it?
No.
To support both the continued activation and development of spaces that foster connection and community interaction.
Where are you? Oh, bullet point. Okay.
It's not what you're really saying.
It's not. I don't think it's right enough.
It's urban design, isn't it?
It's not just urban design. It's the kind of people that are living, the mix of people that are living there,
right,
having a mix, having a community.
Just 1 and 2 bedrooms. Just
Yeah, that's it. Is that from else? Page 8. And page 8. Thank you. Thank you, my good sir. I brought my consultant.
So it's on our priorities.
It's agenda page 73. That's what I should know our own doc. Diversity in its housing stocks, which attracts a wide range of people and families. That's exactly.
It's not in here.
Where?
It's not in here.
Page 8.
This is about transport on our page 8. So it must, I wonder if it's in thriving prepared community.
Encouraging long-term empathy and decisions to build strong communities.
Should be in urban growth and community planning.
For thriving, safe and prepared. Sounds great, but can't find it.
Why don't
someone
you
do a word
just
search.
circle that word and give it to Mark,
thanks,
make sure he puts it in.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought anything about,
May I?
yeah, it's not in there. Yeah.
So that's the phraseology there, we just.
Find and
Starting to get chilly in here.
it's too late.
That's what happened. And you've moved. We just moved the table.
Oh, here we go. Oh.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
we should. We could put it underneath the table.
No, no false alarms.
So close.
I don't think it's in there. Have to be under planning
I
and.
see it under Westminster Park and specifically, I'm just doing what they're from.
You can't find it?
I was doing a control F on stop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Under McFarlane, why would it be there?
Yeah, here it is. Oh,
The different project.
it's in the. Come in the submissions. It's in the submissions.
So we want that included in the community, the urban growth and community planning.
Q7. It's a question 7 of the submission doc. Oh,
Yeah.
Quoting back Derek's submission.
Oh, okay. But he's.
Could we just
that's a quote
approve
from
it?
Jake.
Yeah, can we just approve it?
Can we approve it pending that's added to the urban growth and community planning
Yes.
section?
Yep.
It's already in
We can have a resolution to say that I can.
Yep.
Hold on, because I think there should be something also added into the McFarlane Park as lighting.
Well, that's part of the whole master.
But I think they wanted
there.
Maybe if we could mail this and you can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
if you resolution in that we can tweak
Just take the
the
wording out of it.
description and circulate, is that okay?
We want the little bit of detail around, we've got minor corrections
Mhm.
and additions one, and we want a little bit of detail on approving under the growth priority reference to we want here.
And doesn't know anybody else, they just didn't get me.
Oh, ignoring this.
That's why we asked for questions that we.
Oh, you're a musician.
No,
You can't block out other sounds.
Oh, I don't know. Just years ago.
the advocacy around it, because we.
And sometimes when people are talking, they talk and they just miss that.
Staff to,
I can't go on talk on the radio again.
that priority.
Farms.
No,
Additional-
you can,
talk
but a lot
about
of people can't.
To include diversity in house and stock
Not too loud though.
advocacy.
Diversity of.
Diversity.
in house and stock.
And its houses.
That's not updated.
Because there's heaps of stuff with McFarlane Park, people want a path around the edge and they want it lit, but that's all be captured in the consultation and the plan.
Okay.
So I don't know if we need to be specific about.
Oh, I would.
Because
I
vouchers
just
and safety.
Yeah, last week talking to them, and they were just talking about the safety of the lighting to
Yeah.
get to the centre
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's
as a major. And
So, but that would be captured under the heading of safety and communities.
So we've got
Receptive.
I don't know.
In mind that they've got a SEPTED report.
Yeah.
So you need to consider what the outcomes from their SEPTED report is, because sometimes lighting can give a false sense of security in areas. So we will need to go back to what they've got listed there.
And the SEPTED report did recommend, from memory, addressing the lighting on the path through the middle, as it was too glare. It was very glary lighting. So they were talking about putting it up higher or something.
Through you, Chair, if I can just comment that SEPTED recommendations incorporated into the project is included under how we measure success. So I think you've specifically got it there.
Yep.
It's on page 78.
Are you happy with number 5?
Slash conditions for urban growth. Do you want to read it out, Sunita, so that Dave can hear it?
I can see it.
Yeah, okay, good. 4 and 5.
Looks good to me. I know Emma's a wordsmith, so I know that she'll get wording right. That is entirely appropriate, and we'll keep everyone happy.
Of course.
Agrees.
And if she doesn't,
Oh, here we go.
You get chocolate fish today from Jake.
Out of 5.
Okay. Okay, are we all good? Okay, I'm happy to move.
Great.
Second, Pauline seconding.
Oh, yes, Simon.
Simon, do you want to second? Simon.
Yes, I'd like
Okay,
to see.
Simon will second it.
Simon.
Cool, thank you, Pauline, for that. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I prepared it.
Have all of the.
Okay, and now item 12, we are coming to our YDF funds.
Kia ora. We have 2 DRFs happy to present. One is the top up of the current Youth Development Fund, and the other is to support the Melbourne Scout team in fixing some of their buildings, the south side of their building, which is in desperate repair. Be answering questions on everything.
I assume this includes a lot of the work being done by themselves and volunteers.
Yes, and it's a contribution and a fundraising. They've got some reserves and looking at other funds.
Great, thanks.
Emma?
I was just wondering, an update on how the organisation is going. Like, are they doing well? And
yeah, they I've got their financially. They are. There's no financial concerns by staff. They have what are they called? Cares, carves, features. They've got each program they have a trip. Is it a trip? A group? People, young people in each of the sections.
So the building's actually being used?
Yeah, and it is on for hire on the Scouts website. It's very obscure to find. You have to go to the Scouts New Zealand website and then find it from there.
Now I know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's good. It's great to hear that they're doing well. Thank you.
Happy to move.
Yep, Pauline is mover, John seconder. All in favor? Aye. Carried, thank you.
Area report.
Area report, happy to take as read and happy to take any questions.
Cool, silence. Or not? No questions.
No questions.
Let's make a comment though.
Yeah.
So it's really good to see these civil defence and emergency management and resilience plans being worked on. So we've got Richmond, Shirley, I think there's one happening in St Albans.
The civil defence team and myself went to the last SARA meeting.
Yes.
And yeah, waiting to hear back from the chair about the next steps.
Yes, because we've got Rehua just down the road too.
Yeah, and that was some of the kōrero as well, to share the partner, to strengthen those relationships. I know that they have their own, Rehua has a pod of good stuff that you need in a civil emergency. So yeah.
Yes. And is that what these ones are going to do, actually developing like containers with stuff in them?
So what they do is look at what the community has. If there's resources that are needed, then perhaps they could come to, our advice would then come to the DRF to look at if there's a need in the community. If it's not, you know, if communities say we've got trailers, we've got this, we've got that, relying on your local resources. Because sometimes when we call hard groups like generators that, you have to change the diesel, these are ongoing costs. So having a generator is great, but if you don't use it, these are ongoing costs, and you have to buy fuel and have fuel, the price of fuel at the moment, you know, you have to have things in reserve. So looking at locally what assets there are.
Still like the toilet paper, because it doesn't go off, does it? Because I think
Actually doesn't.
Belfast Community Network, they have one, don't they?
Yes, correct.
We're using that as a kind of a model.
Yeah, well, it depends on what the community needs are. And what resources are already there, and then what groups, you know.
Actually, have we seen the civil defence? I don't know. Have we seen?
So we just had a briefing from the Defence and Emergency Management team the other day, and John Forsell, you know, pointed out that they really are focusing down on community preparedness and resilience. And we're trying to think of another word now for resilience, because it's a little bit overused, but like sustainability, but haven't come up with one yet. So that's good that the council's getting behind all of these groups to be prepared.
And, you know, hopefully it'll get down to a street level eventually if it goes on for long enough.
Yeah. And what about, and Shirley doing one? Is that in the report?
Shirley has one. It's Shirley Community Trust.
Action
is a plan which is, if you go onto their website, they have what their needs are, what their responses.
And it's really about, in my view, identifying before an emergency happens or a crisis, identifying all those community leaders, not just one, but many people who will stand up in these things, and then get that. Because the big issue every time is communication gets criticised. So if you use people to, you know, share that information through. So it's up to our residents associations and other groups to identify the leaders and get that kind of communication tree. I think we called it, didn't we, Victoria? That tree of communication going. Yeah, cool.
Well, yeah, but you need to take that down to another level. You know, like the longer you've got, this is a piece of work that should continue to grow as it develops and people become to terms with.
Like my theme. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Courtney Street. I mean, we've got a network where we know exactly where our trailers are and our equipment that we need on the street. And that should be rolling, that couldn't roll out in every street to get down to that level with this work and support of the council and the civil defence and so forth. It should continue to grow.
It's also very beneficial, talking from a welfare perspective, to know which communities have plans, because we can have oversight of the plans.
That's exactly right.
It's, from the flip side, very beneficial.
Yeah, there was a guy who actually tried to set it up after the earthquakes. I can't remember his name, but there was a guy trying to set up street networks following the earthquake. I can't remember, but it was probably a little bit too early. But I think now, 10, 15 years on, when people understand that, you know, these disasters do happen and how they work and how people get through, that it could take off. So excited to see where it goes.
Yeah. Well, cool. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Pauline and Emma. All in favor?
Yep. I just love the pictures of these. It's great.
Pictures great.
Yeah, really see what's going on on board.
Right. Now we are at the final item, member exchange. Simon.
Just two things. On Anzac Day, we had a parade and service in the Papanui area, actually in Heaven Ward, so thank you to our neighbours. But with the closure of the Papanui RSA facility, that service has moved to being hosted at the Papanui Club. Samita and I attended and laid a wreath on behalf of the board. There was, given the change of venue and the need for comms around that, there was a reasonable public turnout, and it's always been a large civil sort of suburban services, and I'm sure that will be continue to sort of grow again in attendance. So I'm sure that'll be on our calendar on an annual basis.
So did they still have the march around Herewood?
No, because of the site, because they always went to the War Memorial, right at the intersection at the top of Papanui Road, as well as being at the RSA. So the march was at the Papanui Club as well.
Oh, they had a march there. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so still
it was successful.
So yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
it was a lovely day as well. The sun was shining, so beautiful.
Yeah.
Just the other one, just want to highlight, board members will recall we had representatives of the Grasmere Street community at our meeting last month, just bringing those concerns to us around traffic related to the development there and the council infrastructure project. I've had some further comms. I was just through one of my channels. I haven't got the pictures in front of me, but subsequent to that meeting, there's been some damage to power lines from one of the trucks operating on that street, and I've continued to hear from residents their ongoing concerns. So just wanting to sort of reflect that to board members that it's continuing to be an issue in Papanui Ward, and we're looking forward to an outcome from the work that we understand staff are doing in the background around alternative access ways.
Thank you. Don.
The regeneration team presented a Linwood neighbourhood plan to this board a few months ago, and it relates to the area sort of surrounding Eastgate Shopping Centre, going out a few hundred metres radius around there. That area, that sort of vaguely a circle, encompasses about a third of that area is in the central ward at the far eastern apex of our ward. So I'm very happy to be one of the members of the advisory panel on that plan, and we've workshopped it this week. We're on week 2 of a 5-week program. That panel includes some members of the community. It includes students from Te Aratai, Linwood College. There's health, someone from the Loft, and so on. And we're looking at the sorts of things that we can prioritise in that plan that are able to be done, short term, and what can be held for the long term. It's designed to be a 20-year living document, but there are some things we can get cracking with straight away. It's going very well, working very constructively. I can't go into where we are yet because it's still a work in progress, but I'll report back to you at next month's meeting with more probably. Most of the ideas have been drawn from the community, and our work will go back to the community for a look at comments and approval. So watch that space.
Great to see.
Victoria.
Oh, thank you for that. Just following up on the Grasmere, thanks for raising that again, Simon. That incident with the power lines and the power pole was exceptionally unfortunate. It was actually an Orion low hanging lines rather than any direct fault of the contractor on this occasion. That's usually coming in for quite a bit of public barreling here. So that was, really unfortunate, and they were really lucky that no one was injured, because it could have been a hell of a lot worse. The residents have formed a residents Grasmere action group now, so we are trying to have the communications all coming through via that one point, and staff are communicating with them, and staff have committed to holding a public meeting at the right time. The issue really is the progress with the landowner from Cranford Street, and I have another session booked in with the council team for this Friday to get an update on where they're at with that negotiation to gain access. So while it looks like there's nothing happening out there, I can assure you that there are things happening behind the scenes. So we get closer to that every day. the other one for me is just reminding people that we've had a start work notice go out in relation to the Northwest Works for the major cycle route and wastewater renewals on Chapel and Matsons and Harewood. And the Isaac civil team have very kindly offered to start hosting the drop-in sessions for the public to come and learn a little bit more about the works. So the first one is scheduled for Saturday, the 16th of May at 10 o'clock. So I'm happy to go along to that. It's the same sort of format that they had with Arangi Roadworks, which was really helpful. My only request to staff will be to make sure that we actually have some council staff there, not just the contractors, because past experience showed that the contractors couldn't answer all the questions. So I'll be putting in a request to see that we've got some council staff there as well, because usually what happens is the questions are all around design. And those are things that the contractor doesn't have any control over. Yeah, that's all there is from me. Thanks.
Well, thanks, Victoria. Anyone else?
Oh, I'll just give you a heads up. There's a lady in Francis Ave complaining about the abandoned house there, and it has been boarded up, and staff have been out and had a look and say it's not. They have to be either a health hazard or a fire hazard. So I'm trying to organise a site visit there. Because just to just see if there's anything that can be done, because you're saying that there's kids going in there and hanging out in there and stuff like that. Well, that in itself to me is a fire risk. Yeah. But so that's an ongoing thing. I'll feedback.
On that, there's also the one on, is it Champion Street? There's another one. There's another abandoned house that we have in that area. I'll get the address to you, because they may, if they're coming out to investigate one, they may as well have a look at the other one, because it's bad as well.
Right, I'm not familiar with it.
Do you know if any design work or any resource consent's gone in for any of those lands?
No, there hasn't. It's been sitting for years and years.
It's cost effective loan as well.
Yeah, it's. I think it's sort of like they call them abandoned properties, so they can't find the landlord to work with the land, or the sort of the owner. So if they can't find the owner, they work with the owner. Otherwise they can't.
Yeah. So because the fence into the front there, it was gated off fairly tightly, not that that solves the problem.
They just knock them over, don't they?
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Pauline. I just wanted to share that this morning, the preschool, which is right in front of Mitre 10, a parent got their car stolen. Broad daylight, a couple of teenagers came in, and then they later on found the car in Waltham. So police called the family to let them know. So I don't know if keep an eye on or ear out if anything else happening.
There's a bit of trouble at the moment with parked on Condo Ave. There's motorbikes use in park now during the day. So the area is getting a little bit more.
Do we have police briefing or scheduled in?
I was going to say that because it's in our community board plan, and we've always tried to get more regular, like every 3 months. I don't know doing that, and maybe it's because they haven't got time. But
which is understandable. Yeah. But, I had a distress person calling in, letting me know. I didn't know what to do because they called council first. They thought their car got towed away. Yeah. Because the kids, they were celebrating Mother's Day at the preschool. So that's why the parents were there. So council.
Broad daylight.
Yeah. And unfortunately, school doesn't have any CCTV camera. So they couldn't have either. Basically, yeah. Which I found,
What it might have been that way.
No idea, but that's what I think has happened today.
Okay. And did you say that it got dumped off in Waltham?
Waltham, yeah.
Yeah.
We called the family, and that's how they knew that it's been stolen.
Yes.
Damaged, yeah. So I think the car ignition has been damaged or something. So just distressed family for that.
I had a woman ring me today, and she'd had her scooter stolen from outside the fish and chip shop just across the road from the community centre on Colombo Street. And she had actually had a turn and had been taken in the ambulance. And then her mobility scooter was flogged.
Mobility's
good. Still not it's good. Oh, they're expensive.
They are really.
You can zoom them up.
It's just sad that to see that what fun can someone get just by stealing and dumping it somewhere else.
Yes.
So
Local copper swears by the steering wheel locks, those sorts of things. He's always preaching the gospel. Yeah. It's not that it works in hindsight.
yeah, another happy news is that me and John attended a mural opening at Stanmore Road, 98 Stanmore Road. Beautiful murals done by Coffee, young artist. Great job she has done, like amazing. Just where the new building has come up, Linwood Village.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where the open space is,
Yeah, if you're sitting at Peaches Cafe, you'd be looking straight up.
It's looking so good down there.
The best.
It's really grassroots things springing up now. It's working.
Yeah, the best part I liked was that there were 3 individuals on the mural, and those 3 individuals were present there.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. So real celebratory work from the community and individuals who contributed to the community. So I was quite pleased to see that and attend alongside John, and community turn-up was good too.
It was, yeah.
It's good.
Test it.
So just outside of our ward, but I've been working with some residents about the park, the skateboard park. And and so great to see finally the council are interacting with the skaters as a community, and they'll be continuing. They've got some agains. They've, instead of having a grey wall, they've now got graffiti throughout the park, and it's a relationship that should have probably happened years ago, but so it's now a space making place. So the Morehouse Ave skate park, Washington Way skate park. Yeah, so there's a big mural right along the bridge embankment and stuff like that. So so we've been involved in helping that happen too.
It's we the
us, collectively us. We've been helping our neighbours.
We're still on elected member. Just on a slightly downbeat note for that Linwood Village area where the mural is the confirmed closure of the New Zealand Post outlet there, which is New Zealand's community-run, volunteer-run post shop. And they did make a valiant attempt at appealing the matter through NZ Post's process, but alas, it was rejected, and it's one of the whole lot that are being closed. So we'll be farewelling that between 11 a.m. and noon next Friday with the sausage sizzle there. The group, Te Whare Roimata, is looking at its next options, and they do have some. They have, there was a bit of media, RNZ, there's a nice article in there about it. And it really highlighted to me, I think, that little shop, like it's square meterage, is about the size of this table, possibly a bit smaller. And it was really a community hub. It's not just a post shop, it's a community hub, but post was the reason to go there. So I hope that they'll be able to figure out some other parish hub kind of things that they can do with the property. But sad to lose the post, as many other neighbourhoods have around Christchurch in the country.
Sure. Very. I think Binnan one's going as well.
It is, yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
Ferry Road's gone.
He leaves Stephen, doesn't it, for the whole area?
Yes.
Fresh choice.
Yep.
Oh no, we have New Superman.
Cool.
Fresh choice.
Thank you.
Is it?
All right, thank you everybody for today, and let's close off with Kakia. Yeah, mama. Tina.